In the news this week, the Prime Minister emphasises the importance of protecting women's spaces. It's revealed that genetically modified babies have been born in the UK. And an unborn child receives pioneering brain surgery. Hello. The Prime Minister has emphasised that protecting women's spaces is not a niche issue to be avoided. In an interview with the Daily Mail, he said it's a subject people would expect their Prime Minister and their politicians to have a view on and to address, and that's what I'm doing. Making sure that we protect women's safety and women's rights is important, whilst also, of course, having compassion and tolerance and understanding for those who are questioning their gender. It's not the first time the Prime Minister has spoken out on the issue. He promised to protect single-sex spaces when running for the leadership of the Conservative Party. He also reiterated the importance of ensuring children are only exposed to age-appropriate sex education content. I'm a parent, and I think most parents would care about that. They'd want to know what their kids were being taught, what materials they were being exposed to. Genetically modified babies have been born in the UK for the first time, the fertility regulator has confirmed. Scientists at the Newcastle Fertility Centre, licensed by the Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority, created the babies employing a technique known as mitochondrial donation, or three-person IVF. The procedure gives rise to a child generated from 3 different parents, a chromosomal mother, an egg mother, and a sperm father. Serious ethical concerns surround the new technique, as the Institute's Kieran Kelly explains.
Just because we can do something doesn't mean that we should. And we've always said that the problems associated with these techniques may only arise years later as these genetic modifications are passed down from one generation to the next. And the evidence is already emerging that babies created through this process are still at risk of developing potentially fatal diseases. And we should be putting our resources into adult stem cell treatment, which offers hope to those living with mitochondrial disease, rather than putting them into what appears to be the genetic equivalent of Russian roulette.
Former children's TV star Baroness Floella Benjamin has said the online safety bill must end the sexualisation of childhood by tackling online pornography. Writing in the Daily Telegraph, she highlighted that teen is one of the most frequently searched terms on pornographic websites, while the most common words in videos deemed to be coercive or exploitative include schoolgirl. Lady Benjamin said that while the bill must prohibit the sort of content where adults act as children, it should also end kids' easy access to pornography, which is contributing to the rise of child-on-child sexual abuse. The Children's Commissioner's Office found that half of 379 interview transcripts relating to such cases from 2012 to 2022 contained at least one verbal reference to violent acts common in pornography. One child said their perpetrator spoke about the things he'd seen on porn, while 2 separate children claimed they'd been treated like a porn star. Speaking to BBC Radio 4's Today programme, England's Children's Commissioner, Dame Rachel de Souza, called for the online safety bill to introduce robust age verification measures.
I've met both the porn companies and the tech companies, and particularly the tech companies, because most children see porn first on Twitter and then on Snapchat, as well as accessing the porn companies. We need decent age verification through the online safety bill, but these tech companies could be stepping up now to get these images down. Certainly, if you've got a social media site that allows 13 pluses on, then they should not be able to see pornography on it.
And finally, a 34-week-old unborn baby has undergone pioneering in-womb surgery to treat a life-threatening brain condition. Mum Kenyatta Coleman was told at 30 weeks that her unborn daughter Denver had vein of Galen malformation, where an undeveloped blood vessel can cause immediate heart failure after birth. But now Denver is over 6 weeks old. Doctors say she hasn't needed any heart medication and is doing fantastically well at home. Dr. Darren Orbach said the clinical trial has the potential to mark a paradigm shift in managing of the condition, which may markedly reduce the risk of long-term brain damage, disability, or death among these infants. Mum Kenyatta said, "I heard her cry for the first time. I can't even put into words how I felt at that moment. She's shown us from the very beginning that she was a fighter." Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.